Have you ever felt stuck? Not because you're not good enough, but because you can't stop beating yourself up every time you make a mistake. You keep replaying that moment, that wrong word, that wrong choice, that single second when you lost something important. And the same voice keeps whispering. I should have known better. I should have done better. I should have been different. I used to think that self-punishment was discipline. I thought the harder I was on myself, the stronger I'd become. But then, I learned a brutal truth. Self-punishment is not discipline. It's the enemy of discipline. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in Meditations, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That line became the birth of what I call the 1% mindset. Because success doesn't belong to the perfect. It belongs to those who can rise faster than their fear. Part 1. What makes the 1% different? Failure doesn't destroy you. It's the storm of negative thoughts after failure that does. I once met two people who fell the same way. One took 6 months to find their confidence again. The other only needed 6 minutes. The difference wasn't IQ or talent or luck. It was the speed of mental recovery. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you that hurts you, it's how you interpret it." That is the power of mental reset. That is the 1% mindset. The top 1% don't avoid failure. They simply refuse to stay fallen for long. And today, I'll show you how to think like them. 5 lessons to help you shut down negative thoughts fast. Lesson 1. Self-blame is not discipline. A friend of mine, John, once told me a story. Years ago, he lost a $50 million deal, not because he lacked skill or intelligence, but because in one meeting he let emotion overrule reason. One defensive sentence, one flash of pride, and the trust was gone. The deal collapsed. That night, John paced around his apartment like a caged animal. No food, no sleep, no words to anyone. He cursed himself 100 times in his head. He thought that was taking responsibility, but 3 days later, he realized he'd done the stupidest thing possible. While he was busy punishing himself, the chance to rebuild that partnership had already vanished. John didn't just lose money, he lost a future that could have been saved. A friend finally told him, "Instead of spending 72 hours feeling sorry for yourself, why not spend 72 minutes fixing it?" That line hit him like a slap, but it woke him up. He finally saw the truth. Self-punishment isn't discipline. It's a selfish way to avoid taking action. Seneca once wrote, "No man becomes wise by hating himself." When you sit there replaying, complaining, drowning in guilt, you think you're being responsible, but really you're just delaying progress. True discipline means standing up and doing what needs to be done, even when your heart still hurts. From that day on, John made a promise to himself. Never again will I let guilt control my actions. Lesson 2. Shame is not responsibility. Most people confuse two things, shame and accountability, but they are as different as darkness and light. Shame says, "I'm broken." Accountability says, "This is broken and I'll fix it." Two completely different languages, and only one of them can save you. Last month, I completely forgot an important meeting with 5 people. Not late, not mixed up, just gone, wiped from memory. The old me would have spent a week cursing myself. But now, I switch into what I call scientist mode. I ask myself, what failed in the system? Did my calendar not sync? Do I have a confirmation rule before meetings? 20 minutes later, I had my answer. I created a new rule. Every meeting gets confirmed 24 hours in advance, and I block 30 minutes beforehand to prepare. Then I called the client. I told the truth. I apologized. They didn't just forgive me, they respected me more. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone does wrong, teach them, or bear with them." You can't teach yourself if all you do is hate yourself. Self-hatred is emotion, self-accountability is action, and only action can change your future. Lesson 3, the 4A method, the Stoic system for emotional recovery. When everything falls apart, don't wait for emotions to save you. You need a system, a structure that brings order to chaos. Here's the method I use every time emotions flood my mind. Acknowledge, analyze, adjust, advance. 1. Acknowledge, face the truth. No excuses, no sugarcoating, no denial. Say it clearly. I messed up. Not, I always mess up. Not, I'm a failure. Just, this went wrong. Epictetus taught, no one heals themselves by refusing to admit they're wounded. 2. Analyze, break it down. Why did this happen? Was it the system, the emotion, the lack of preparation? Don't say everything's terrible. Find one real cause. Someone once asked me, how do I know when I'm truly at fault? I told them, when you can point to a specific reason, not just a feeling. 3. Adjust. Make the smallest effective change. Don't tear down the whole building because of one cracked brick. Ask yourself, what is the minimum viable change? You don't need to rebuild your whole life. Sometimes all it takes is a shift. How you speak, how you react, how you plan your time. Marcus Aurelius once said, if something causes you pain, examine whether it can be transformed. Don't turn mistakes into tragedies. Turn them into new instructions for how to live. 4. Advance. Move forward. The past doesn't define your future. Your next action does. Stand up. Look forward. Don't look back to cry. Look back to understand. Seneca wrote, no one can begin again while standing at the same shore. The 4A method is the compass of a Stoic mind. It keeps you calm in the storm, anchored in reason, focused on what can be fixed. No complaining, no drowning in emotion. Just observe, adjust, and move on. Lesson 4, the 24-hour rule, the law of recovery. One of my first mentors once lost $5 million in 2 days. I called him, expecting him to be broken, defeated, crushed. But he simply said, I'll give myself 24 hours to feel bad. Then I'll get back to work. A month later, he made $50 million. That single line became one of my life's laws. Every hour you spend living in the past is an hour you steal from your future. We're taught to believe that the longer we suffer, the more we learn. Wrong. Prolonged pain doesn't teach you anything. It only forces you to replay the same mistake in your mind. Seneca once wrote, pain doesn't disappear through endurance, but through understanding. So, when you fail, set a timer in your mind. 24 hours to feel it, to cry, to rage, to mourn. Then stop, take a breath, write down 3 lessons, and take one action to move forward. Over time, I realized I didn't even need 24 hours anymore. Sometimes 60 minutes was enough to turn fear into a plan. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his journal, right in the middle of war, in the morning, remind yourself, today, people will be selfish, deceitful, arrogant, envious, but I will still act according to my nature. That is the spirit of the 24-hour rule. It's not about avoiding emotion. It's about limiting how long emotion gets to control you. Lesson 5. Emotional forecasting. Never decide when your mind is drunk. Emotions are like the weather. The sky can pour with rain, but the sun is still there, only hidden for a while. Marcus Aurelius once warned, "An angry mind is a disturbed mind." When you're angry, afraid, anxious, you're emotionally drunk, and no one makes wise choices while drunk. I remember John. After one brutal week, he was ready to fire half his team. In his eyes, everything was broken. Everyone was to blame. But then he remembered what his mentor once told him. Never make a big decision when you're exhausted. So he stopped. He turned off his phone, went outside, walked in silence. The next day, he came back different. He realized it wasn't his team that was weak, it was him, burned out and overworked. The problem wasn't the people, it was the system. And all it took was 3 small adjustments. Not a revolution, not an explosion, just 3 tweaks, enough to save the company. Remember this, urgency is an illusion created by emotion. If a decision is truly right, it will still be right in 48 hours. But if you make it while your mind is hot, you'll regret it forever. The Stoics called this delayed by wisdom. You're not avoiding action, you're simply waiting for your mind to cool, so your action can be precise. Part 2. The Stoic Recovery System. The 1% Mindset. Look back at every lesson we've covered. They all circle around one simple principle: recover faster than fear. Most people take weeks to forget a mistake. The 1% take minutes to understand it. They don't pretend to be emotionless, they simply refuse to let emotion take command. And that is the foundation of inner strength. Seneca once wrote, "A man may be enslaved his whole life, yet if his mind remains free, he is the freest of all." When you master your reactions, you stop being a victim of the world. You become its navigator. The 1% aren't better because they avoid risk. They're better because they can endure it and recover from it. They still feel pain, still anger, still disappointment, but they shorten the distance between pain and action. I once met a man who used to be a millionaire. He lost almost everything after a lawsuit. For 6 months, he couldn't even look in the mirror. Every morning he saw a reflection he called the failed version of myself. Then one morning he read a line from Meditations, "No one can save you but yourself, yet you're not powerless." That sentence changed everything. He sat down and wrote every mistake, one by one, every wrong choice, every missed signal, every flaw. And then he asked, "What among all this can I control?" He crossed out everything that belonged to others and kept only what belonged to him. Then he began to fix it. 3 years later, he came back stronger, not just richer, but freer, because his mind no longer lived in fear. When I asked him what changed the most, he said, "I stopped fighting my past. I started working with it." Conclusion: the return of the 1% mindset. You will make mistakes again, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and that's okay, because what matters isn't that you fall, but how fast you rise. Don't let one failure become a habit of surrender. Don't let one negative thought steal everything that's still good in you. The 1% mindset was never about perfection. It's about coming back to the game, faster than fear can pull you down. Let's break it down one last time. 1. Stop punishing yourself. 2. Replace shame with responsibility. 3. Practice the 4, a method. 4. Limit your sorrow to 24 hours. 5. Never decide while your mind is drunk on emotion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "To conquer yourself is the greatest victory." And that is the essence of Stoic living. Not to escape pain, but to rise through it, quickly, cleanly, and with pride. If this message reached you, share it with someone who's stuck. someone still fighting ghosts from their past, someone who just needs a reason to rise again. Because sometimes what saves a person isn't comfort. It's a system that helps them rebuild their mind. And if you're ready to build yours, join this journey. Subscribe, stay, grow with us, and leave one line in the comments, just 3 words that mark your commitment. I will rise.